Hey!
Hey, hi.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
Hello.
That's brutal. Just two patriotic girls. So please don't take us the wrong way.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show. On Sunday.
I apologize. It is literally, what time is it? You have a watch on. You can't see it, but that's not right. It's 3:15 in the morning here, so it's 8:15 in the morning there.
Mm-hmm.
So we apologize. Got a very late start. Don't ask why. We don't even know. But we apologize for the video being late to you guys. So very, very sorry for that. But I'm glad you're here. Hope you like this episode. We have a good episode for you.
We sure do. But before we get to that, consider subscribing to our channel.
Give me your finger back.
Is it here?
About there.
Subscribing. Thanks.
She enjoys this.
I do. It's like magic.
And like the video if you like the video.
Yes, but before you subscribe, go check out our other content.
You said contact last time.
I know, content. And make sure you want to be a part of our family.
Yes. Don't subscribe just to subscribe. Okay. But no, today we have a really cool video for you. But before we get into that, we want to thank everybody over at Patreon for supporting us for this whole month of January. We're going to be changing just a couple little things in the month of February, and that today is our last video for January.
Yeah, it is.
But we got a couple new patrons that's just subscribed recently, and we want to give some shout outs and thank you to you. So firstly, let's thank Catherine East.
And we have Paul Holland. Thank you.
And we have Paul Barnaby. Thank you.
Thank you again. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the fams.
Hopefully you're enjoying it.
We got two Pauls and a Catherine. You know what that makes?
Sure do.
That makes a Catherine and Paul sandwich.
Uh-oh.
Just messing. So you guys have been watching our Travel Wednesday episodes, hopefully, which we've been loving. We just did York before that, Cotswolds before that, Lake District before that, top places in England.
All amazing.
And we have a new Travel Wednesday episode up for you very soon. But today's video is kind of in relation. This is the video Debbie wanted to do months ago.
I did.
Yeah. So we're going to do it today because it's more fitting. We've been watching all these dash cams of people driving in England.
Scary.
It's been freaking us out. As I'm sure it would freak you out to be driving on this side of the road over here. So that's just one facet to the whole driving thing, but we want to learn more about the differences. So today's video is the differences between British and American driving. And this is from our guy, Lawrence, over at Lost in the Pond, who has some really awesome videos on content that you can't find anywhere else. So we appreciate you, Lawrence, at Lost in the Pond. And we're going to get into this. There's a lot to learn. And we want to learn more about it because when we come to the UK, and we don't know when that is yet, but when we do, we get a lot of people asking that in the comments. We don't know when. It's going to be a little while because we got Tyson, as you know, and we got to save up some money, some serious money. Because when we come, we're not coming for like a week. We're coming for some time.
That's right.
We're going to come do the thing. Right.
We're traveling all over.
Yeah. So what was I saying? 25% brain capacity at this time in the morning.
We're going to go hang into our video.
Yeah, we're going to do the video and find out all the other stuff we need to know about the differences between driving here and there. So without further ado, let's see what we all learned. All right, let's do this.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to driving. I think it's a well-known fact that driving etiquette and just driving practices in general are different on either side of the pond. But how are they different? Having lived in the United States now for 11 years, I'm here to tell you, even though I don't drive. From the driving test right through to the cars themselves and, you know, the side of the road that we drive on, as well as the words that we use to describe car things. It just goes to show that Britain and America are two nations divided by a common median/central reserve. Now, before we get underway, you may be thinking, why should I take any information on this matter from somebody who doesn't drive? Well, the truth of the matter is I did try to learn to drive, actually, here in the United States, so I have experience of that. I have no experience back in England, but I've seen cars, nearly got killed by one once. I was on my bike. You didn't need to know that. And so, without further ado, let's take a look at 6 ways that Britain and America's car culture is very, very different.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so before we get into the good stuff, a little bit about how people acquire their licenses in both countries. In the United Kingdom, where I'm from, you can get a full license at the age of 17, but until then, as soon as you apply for one, you have to have a provisional license until you pass your driving test. These provisional licenses can be acquired from the age of 15 years and 9 months, very specific. Whereas in the United States, this actually varies from state to state. And they don't really call that pre-license a provisional license, but a restricted driver's license. And notice, of course, the difference between driving license and driver's license, and the spelling of license. Now, like I said, it does differ from state to state. In South Dakota, for example, you can acquire one of these restricted licenses from the age of 14 years and 3 months. And that's issued by a department called the South Dakota Department of Public Safety. But, you know, to be fair, South Dakota is one of the 5 least densely populated states in the nation. So it's the...
I had no idea that you could drive that young.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, what? Yeah, in Ohio, you can get, we call them your temps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the license you get before your license.
Yeah.
It's called temps or temporaries.
Temporary license.
Right. And you get that at 15. You get your actual driver's license here in Ohio at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or 18.
Well, at any age after 16. All right, let's get back in.
To be fair, South Dakota is one of the 5 least densely populated states in the nation, so it's the cows that I worry for. Now, that's kind of an extreme example, and in any case, when we're talking about passing your driver's test and getting your full unrestricted license, that will happen anywhere from the age of 16 to 18, depending on the state. Now, in Britain, a driving test consists of 3 sections. You've got your theory exam, your hazard perception exam, and then your supervised driving exam. Now, in the United States, or at least Indiana, where I took lessons, I was taught by a combination of my wife and my grandfather-in-law, who to this very day remain among the bravest people I've ever known. But to even get to the point of taking those driving lessons, I had to take a written test, which was easy. I didn't even revise for it. It was mostly common sense stuff. And I had to have an eye test as well, just to make sure that I could see things. And once I passed the written test and the eye test with flying colours, hazel mainly, I was then given a learner's permit, or was it a restricted license? I'm confused about that. But something was given to me and I was able to drive around parking lots for a bit. Never passed the test, and now that I live in Chicago, don't really need to. No. But I've been in the passenger seat on many an occasion, including one where we crashed. Probably didn't help that I never took driving lessons in the UK, but even if I had, I might have been even more confused, particularly because of the next difference. I think it goes without saying, mostly because most people are aware of this, that Britain and America definitely drive on different sides of the road. Do. Indeed, you know, I've heard British people say, why do Americans drive on the wrong side of the road? But I don't think the burden of accountability lies with Americans. Indeed, like the United States, the majority of the planets, not including oceans, drive on the right. Because of
I have said this on Facebook Live videos we do with you guys 100 times.
It's the right side of the road.
Don't start an argument in the comments section. And I've heard people in the comments when we brought up driving before about something with like the sword hand, you know, that's why you have that. So we know a little bit about this, but I did know that most of the world does drive on the right side. So let's hear what he has to say about that.
The majority of the planets, not including oceans, drive on the right. Because of this, of course, America has the steering wheel on the left, Britain has kept theirs on the right. But this was not always the case, at least in terms of American cars and American roads. Before the 1908 launch of the Ford Motor Company's Model T, virtually every car in America placed the steering wheel on the right. In fact, you know, Ford only made that change to make it easier for people entering on the passenger side to avoid oncoming traffic. Until this, though, long after a law was passed in 1792 mandating that vehicles, horse buggies and the like, must travel along the right side of the road. It was
I saw those kids bouncing up and down, and I'm like, boy, they got some bad shocks in the back of that car. The kids back there just boing, boing, boing.
Let's do that again. You're right.
That vehicles,
the kids doing it on purpose.
Must travel along the right side to mandating.
We're missing what he's saying.
Until this, though, long after a law was passed in 1792 mandating that vehicles, horse buggies and the like, must travel along the right side of the road, it was widely accepted that steering should take place on the right. Evidence of this can still be found today, in fact, in Amish communities where horse buggies are sometimes steered in this manner. When mass production of American cars began in the late 19th century, it was widely widely viewed that right-hand steering was the preferred method, since, it had evidently worked out just fine for the journeyman of yesteryear. However, by the turn of the century, motor companies began looking for innovative new ways to sell their latest
Hold
product.
on, what?
Cadillac
It is a new word.
That's a new one I haven't heard.
Innovative.
Innovative.
Well, let's make it on different word pronunciations.
No, I've never heard that one. We say innovative, and you say innovative. This is something I just learned.
It's a new difference.
That's the only thing I heard in that whole sentence. I was listening, all of a sudden it was just innovative was just right there. I like that. I like to try to say, Debbie knows I try to steal some of the ways that you guys pronounce.
You do?
I said pronounce.
You did. It's too late.
It's way too early in the morning and we haven't slept. Innovative. Say it.
Innovative.
Now you all say it at home. Innovative.
Innovative.
Oh boy. Let's listen to that again. Innovative. I'm trying to think, how do we say innovative? Innovative. I'm going to try that.
Keep trying.
It had evidently worked out just fine for the journeyman of yesteryear. However, by the turn of the century, motor companies began looking for innovative new ways to sell their latest product. Cadillac introduced the first lever-operated headlights, while the Marmon Motor Company is believed to...
He said lever. Did you hear that?
It did.
Not lever. Lever. I'm sorry, this is about driving, but I'm still hearing words I've never heard pronounced these ways before. I'm sorry.
Cadillac introduced the first lever-operated headlights, while the Marmon Motor Company is believed to have pioneered the use of a rear-view mirror in 1911, and so it was that Ford introduced left-hand steering in 1908. And because it was later seen that left-hand steering was conducive to safer driving, since it was easier for the driver to judge his or her proximity to oncoming traffic, this new way of steering became virtually standardized by the mid-1910s, and has remained thus to this very day. But there is one United States territory that has bucked the trend, and that's the United States Virgin Islands. There, they drive on the left, despite the fact that the steering wheels are also on the left. It must be chaos. Who knows? I've not tried it, but maybe one day. Now, whether you drive on the right or the left, there's no disputing which country has the most cars. When it comes to car ownership, Britain cannot hold a candle to the United States. And that probably makes sense for reasons that I've outlined before. We have a fairly well-connected rail system across the entire country. That's something that the United States does not really boast. And in Britain, most towns and cities do have a fairly comprehensive bus system. So you don't always have to drive to work, for example, or to your kid's sports day. If you take the bus, you've got an excuse if you're late. America is a wide open country. Not everywhere has great public transportation. And add to that, the popularity around cars is just a big part of American culture. Certainly has been since the 20th century. And so these reasons perhaps account for why there are only 471 cars in Britain for every 1,000 people.
Yeah, hold up.
Here we have like a car for every person.
Yeah, Debbie and I both have our own cars.
Over 16.
That's true. Like her sister.
Yeah.
When everybody's like
family of 5, there's 5 cars.
There's 5 cars. Okay, wow. Now I knew that the number was going to be low, but I didn't expect it that way because some of you guys that we talked to on Facebook Live and stuff, I don't think most people that we spoke to have driven that they actively drive. Wow.
I didn't realize that, but it kind of makes sense since you guys have the better public transportation system, like we said, rails and buses, trains.
It's better, but it's different. We have a further landscape to cover.
We do. There's
a saying, I don't know if you've heard it before, and I've seen it many times, where it says Brits think 100 miles is a lot. Americans think 100 years is a long time.
True.
Yeah, that's what it is.
True.
And that's very accurate. Because we'll get the car. And, back when we had no responsibilities and could just do that and drive down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is a 5-hour drive. And we don't bat an eyelash to that,
No.
Did you hear that Kentucky twang that came out? We'll leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, take a nap, then boom, off with the day. It's just not even a thought.
Yep.
But either way, 471 cars for every 1,000 people. Okay.
That's astonishing. That's cool.
I think it's interesting. I mean, You have to have a car in America, though, if you want to go anywhere. You don't want to rely on public transportation. But again, you want to get places quickly, you use a car.
Unless you're in Chicago like he is.
And like you said, too, it's part of culture, too. Like my dad, I come from a long line of men that absolutely were obsessed with cars. But it's something that people, really have a strong pride in America. And I don't know if that's remotely close in the UK. Let us know.
I have no idea.
All right, let's get back in.
People. I say only, that probably sounds like a lot, but that number includes children in the population. So if you just eradicate children, not literally, just in this scenario, then, that number is going to be quite a lot higher, but it probably still wouldn't reach America's number of cars per person, even if you include American children in this, some of whom, of course, South Dakota knows all about that. Because in the United States, there are 838 cars for every 1,000 people. Now, certain states in America do have a disproportionate stranglehold on this very stat. Take, for example, the state of Wyoming. There are more cars per capita in that state than any other state in the nation. There are, in fact, 1,100 cars for every 1,000 people. It is one of 7 states in the Union where cars outnumber people. And then there's car production as well. The United States is the second highest producer of automobiles in the entire world behind China, and it's certainly way ahead of Britain. And so much for the number of cars. What about the amount of miles we're actually driving? Right. Well, the United States absolutely kicks Britain's arse on that one. A 2010 study found that British people on average drive about 6,500 miles a year.
That crushes me.
Yeah. I wonder what our average is. I'm sure he's going to tell us.
Oh my gosh, that's it?
But I know what our lease cars allow us.
These are numbers I didn't expect. Well, I guess I didn't really have them in my head, though, but wow. Okay.
2010 study found that British people on average drive about 6,500 miles a year, which if you do the mathematics on that, that's about 18 miles a day, that sounds like a lot to me. But that's nothing compared to the United States, because Americans on average are doing twice that amount each year. The average American drives about 13,000 miles a year, which is about 36 miles a day. That sounds like hell. And I know that it is because I used to drive from Anderson to Indianapolis and back. You're talking there about 40 miles, so that was about 80 miles a day I used to do. That was routine. I knew a lot of people that would.
I used to drive, what was it? When I worked in Oxford.
Oh, I know the time. I don't know the miles.
Yeah, it was an hour one way, an hour back. It was about 100 miles a day when I worked there. So to me, yeah, that's a commute.
Yep.
About 40 miles, so that was about 80 miles a day I used to do. That was routine. I knew a lot of people that were doing that, and that's not the only commute route, of course, of that size in the United States. And yet again, these numbers could be swayed by certain states out west. Take, for example, Wyoming again. 21,821 miles per capita per year driven by the folks of Wyoming. It is number 1 in the nation yet again, and that's about 60 miles a day. So, this is the state of Wyoming where there are only 2 escalators in the entire state. They're used to doing things the hard way. It's official, there are no two ways about this. American cars, and you can quote me on this, American cars are approximately massive. For once, I don't really have any statistics to back this up, it's observational fact. In the US, you have chunky SUVs, massive 4x4 trucks, and those big family vans that hold up to 287 children. In Britain, you have the hatchback. All that to say that cars are just smaller in the United Kingdom. Most things are, right? The roads are smaller, so we have smaller cars, and we have fewer people using them in general. Here, those 4x4 trucks that Marty covets in Back to the Future and eventually gets are fairly common here. You've probably seen them. They're usually owned by people who think they own the roads. If you've ever seen those country roads in the United Kingdom, I think half of American cars wouldn't be able to fit. They'd have to cut through the fields and potentially kill hundreds of cows, bringing it back to South Dakota.
That's awesome.
Well, that's what I was thinking. The cars we've seen some of the cars in the videos we've watched from Travel Wednesday, and they're tiny compared to ours.
Yes.
Now we also have tiny cars too, I've asked this before and I don't remember getting an answer, but so I guess the 4x4s and the trucks and stuff probably aren't something very common over there. Because that's a huge deal in America. Men love their trucks.
Especially in Wyoming.
Men love their trucks, don't they?
They do.
It's like defines their manhood in America. I mean, hey, we benefit from men having trucks because we get to borrow it if we have to go and like pick up a bunch of stuff or like Debbie building a deck or a bathroom or you never know.
Pick up some wood.
Yeah. I like the way he brought that back.
Of course, they're less likely to do that if drivers have a better understanding of signage.
Okay.
There's a big difference when it comes to road signs, and that's partly because in Britain we conform largely to European standards and Americans, weirdly, don't. I'm being stupid on purpose, just enjoy it. But that's why British signs around the country are very similar to what you might find in, say, France or Germany and the like, except, you know, without kilometres. We have miles, despite being metric. And our signs are in English, unless you're in Wales, where they're written in consonants. And in the United States, there is adherence to the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. This is chiefly federal guidance on road signage, but there are some states, 8 in fact, that go by their own state's version of what the signage should be. So depending on the state you're in, the signage could be different. So do look out for that if you're ever moving here, or even if you just live here already and you're traveling to another state. Yep. And then some states, you know who you are, have a combination of both state and federal regulations. That is called sitting on the fence. Now, quick caveat here, when it comes to US and British signage, it's not all entirely different. Take, for example, the stop sign. They're almost identical. Same with no entry and give way, except in the United States, it's called yield.
They could be that way
fine.
around.
But what about some of the millions of signs that are completely different? Here's a very, very, very brief sample of some of those that you might come into contact with. So our interchange road signs employ different colours and just different markings in general. No parking signs. This is very important. Take a look. They are quite different in colour and in just appearance in general. This is your speed limit right here compared to the United States. And not only do train crossing signs differ from country to country, but in the United States, they usually use the word railroad crossing and the sign looks like this. And as somebody who doesn't drive, the no pedestrian signs are the ones I look out for, and they are quite markedly different.
Oh, America. We literally have to spell it out.
Well, there shows a person, but it doesn't say like no.
I know. It's just like, it's letting you know this guy's going to walk
There's
up.
people's.
I would stop if I saw that sign and just be waiting for this guy to walk up in his all black outfit.
The shadow guy.
Yeah. I'd be like, where's the guy? Is this part of the UK spooky trail?
Could be.
Again, I apologize. I'm at 25% brain capacity. But it's interesting a lot of our signs have the words on them and your guys don't. And yours says give way or whatever it was.
Yeah, give way.
And ours says yield. I would think yours would say yield and ours would say give way.
Right?
It just seems more proper. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Huh. Interesting.
There are some funny ones too. Tanks allowed.
Stop.
That's true in both
actually.
United Kingdom.
I was just getting ready to give him crap for that, but I'm like, I've seen this crossing, so no,
You've seen
my
a
bad.
tank crossing?
You have too.
Where?
Not far away. Military bases and stuff.
Okay.
Parts of the United Kingdom and in Pennsylvania. Basically, there's an absolute plethora of signage differences. I only scratched the surface there. But getting all of them into this video would have been an uphill struggle. I only said that so I could get that sign in there. And actually, while we're on the subject of wordplay, that brings us on to our final entry.
Aww. Words.
There are a staggering number of terminological differences to do with automobiles between the United States and the United Kingdom. This is partially because, of course, both countries devise their rules and regulations around the roads independently of each other. But
I only know one before he goes on here.
Okay.
And that's what we've learned since we've been doing this. And I know that in America we say trunk, the back of the car, and you guys say boot.
Yes.
Do you know any other ones? You knew that one too. Okay, so we're going to learn then. Right? That's it? Boot. And
That
boot.
I know of.
Trunk. Let's find out.
countries devise their rules and regulations around the roads independently of each other. But, and this is by no means an exhaust, if list, here are the key differences.
Okay.
All right, in British English you have bonnet, in American English you have hood, you have boot instead of trunk, bumper instead of Also bumper, but maybe sometimes fender. Car park instead of parking
Knew that
lot.
one.
Central reserve instead of
Never
median.
knew that one.
Crossroads instead of four-way stop. Curve instead of bend. Driving license instead of driver's license. Dual carriageway instead of divided highway or freeway. Gear stick instead of gear shift or shifter. Give way instead of yield. Indicator instead of turn
learned that
signal
one,
or blinker. Lorry or truck, whereas in the US it's usually just truck. The generalized British term motorway can encompass
Highway?
anything from expressway to highway to interstate to freeway. You've got motorway services area, or simply services, which equates in the United States to rest area or rest stop or travel plaza. You have pavement versus sidewalk, petrol cap versus gas cap, petrol station versus gas station, roundabout versus also roundabout, but maybe rotary
like those.
or
I
traffic
hate them.
circle. You have windscreen instead of windshield, and
Interesting.
zebra crossing instead of crosswalk.
What?
That's very odd.
Why a zebra? Or he said zebra.
If I saw a zebra crossing, I would expect to see a zebra crossing
A
the road.
zebra.
Not a person. I would be very disappointed. I'd have to go out and stop them and say, no, this is for zebras.
Is this a head scratching moment? Head scratching moment. I have nothing to say to that because I'm totally lost. Somebody in the comments help. I don't
Maybe because
under-
it's white and black?
What?
Like a zebra.
That would make sense. Is it white and black?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ours are, aren't they?
Swamp area.
They're different colors here, though. They can be yellow. Oh, most of the time they're yellow or just white.
Mm-hmm.
So, help.
And with that, we've hit the red light on this video. That
Well,
was
there's
a
puns.
reference to the stoplight on traffic lights, not the dodgy area of Amsterdam. There's plenty more to say on this subject, and I dare say I will do so in the future. Meanwhile, let me know in the comments what your favourite difference is, or what stumbled you most while driving in the other country. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, bloody subscribe so that my
that's
videos
all.
don't get lost in the pond. And pro tip, if you would like to keep up with me on a day-to-day basis, who can do that?
Lawrence. All right,
Thank
so, ow, stuck. Look at that. That's fun. Oh, I fell off. I did learn more than I thought I would, actually.
Me too.
Zebra crossing.
Zebra crossing.
I'm going to say Debbie's right. You guys are going to let us know in the comments, but I'm going to say she's right. The black and white lines.
That's
Yeah.
my guess.
That's a good guess.
But still, I would expect to see the animal, a zebra.
A zebra?
Within that mark.
A zebra or a zebra. I've called her a zebra before as a nickname. It doesn't work. No, but it was interesting. The different signs and stuff actually are helpful. We need a little manual on these things, though.
Yeah, I would have never known that speed limit sign, that was just a circle with a number in it, was a speed limit. Because
Yeah, and I've
it
seen
says
those.
speed limit.
Well, it says MPH, miles per hour.
Yeah.
Scooting over here. No, I just I've seen that in movies before, and I don't know what the signs mean. And the one you showed with the different one on the freeway. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
But it's like anything. You're used to what you're used to, right?
that's right.
We're used to what we're used to. You're used to what you're used to.
One thing I'm not used to. We are getting lots and lots of roundabouts around here.
Okay, so this is a big deal. We almost did a video on this today, but I don't know if you guys are aware that in the U.S. roundabouts are not very common. Some places in some cities, a little bit so. We are just now starting to get some in our actual neighborhoods here.
Yes.
To the point of, I will never visit Debbie at work because there's a giant one there, and giant to us is like probably tiny to you. But we thought about doing a video, but we're not fans of these. I'm not. I'm going to keep doing this the entire time. I don't understand them. But that's a whole other topic for a whole other day.
Yes.
But no, before we end this video again, guys, please make sure you, again, if you want to, like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Did you learn anything here? We definitely did. I didn't know our cars originally started on the other, we started on the other side as well. So that was interesting for him then to go back and explain how that changed. The different road signs I thought were really fascinating.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was
just
super cool.
to learn those is really cool.
All of it was super cool.
Coming up is Wednesday, of course, which is Travel Wednesday. We have two places that we're trying to find videos on, so I can't say where yet because I'm not 100% sure. But they're two really great places. You'll be happy, I think, with our decision. I think you'll be more than happy. So make sure you tune in for that. And then next Sunday is an episode of something you're not going to expect from us.
Yes.
But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Don't miss next Sunday.
Don't miss any video. I mean, if you're missing the video, then you're
And we're traveling. Why would you miss that?
don't miss it. I mean, just don't miss us. We'll miss you if you miss us. Thank you so much for watching. Again, we appreciate you, and I hope you guys know that. We always appreciate you for being here for us and checking out our stuff and your comments. You're always so kind to us, and we appreciate you very much.
Yes, we do.
So thanks again for popping in. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on Travel Wednesday.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.